Because it kind of makes Glenda feel a little bit like, oh right, wow. It's got like a spatula and a heck of a masher, look at that. I don't even know what material that is. It's like a really hard silicone, but it feels like, it should be like armor. Today I'm testing kitchen gadgets from £1 all the way up to beyond £1,000. To ask that great question, do you genuinely get what you pay for? I do hear that phrase quite a lot, you get what you pay for, but does that progression in price sort of correlate with the progression in quality and ultimate functionality or value for money in general? So let's start with the first one, which is generally £1. Actually, in fact, it was 99p, so I've saved myself a penny. This is a lime scale descaler for your kettle. Now we've got a transparent kettle, which has been a real eye-opener to understanding how much limescale you get in a kettle where traditionally it's sort of hidden. Now unfortunately we do clean it quite regularly with like a white vinegar mixture and it does do an amazing job, but I think we have got a little bit of murkiness there. In fact, let's get a bit closer. Not that it wasn't close, sorry. Can you see there's sort of like this chalky build-up inside? Is it sort of calcium from, it's like hard chalky mixture that creates limescale, isn't it? But that is just the sort of start of it wanting to stay in the kettle, and it will just build up more and more and more. So it's this thing that we drop in the water that apparently should work around the kettle and scrape off the sides. 1.7 litres, boom, here we go. I'm hoping it's going to dance around and scrape the sides of the kettle. Why are you not moving, mate? Come on. This might be a fail. Look, it's moving around. It's moving around. It's touching a side. Yes. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 look. It's doing something. Yes. Yes, it's brushing the kettle. I don't know about you, but I really want to keep boiling it and letting it dance around because I could see what it was doing there, but it has definitely not touched the front. But, of course, the good thing about that gadget is it isn't just a one-off, and we can see actually where it's brushed the sides here. It seems to focus at the back by the handle here. This bit is actually cleaner. I'm not sure if you can see the front so much there, but it's still exactly as murky as it was. However, that is designed to stay in your kettle all the time to prevent that limescale buildup. So I'm just going to leave this generally in my kettle for the next few months and I'll keep you posted on how it goes. I might even clean it and then give you an update on future videos, but generally it could be a good thing, especially for £1. Gadget number 2 for £10 is Eggland. It's basically probably the most novelty one, yeah, pretty much today. This is an egg poacher themed like a tropical island, and it genuinely feels like an actual rubber ring. It's silicone, but it does feel more like an actual like ring that you'd put in a pool. Just crack an egg, let it float, and have a bright start to your day. One thing I will say though is this is actually really, really sturdy. Sometimes you get poachers that are like quite sort of flimsy, like they're still silicone but they can flop over, where this, you can actually put this down quite well and leave it and carry it around. Walk along a beach with a raw egg, brilliant. So we'll sit that in. Oh wow, yes. Reduce the heat. Now this is what I'm slightly worried about. It says to put a lid on. Oh yeah, I thought, is that going to weigh down my palm tree? I think it's going to be okay. And as novelty as it is, that's why I've picked that, because it generally feels like it's got a decent purpose and it's working. £10 is kind of like the sweet spot of when I do my normal gadget videos. So yeah, we could have picked a lot, but I think this is a good choice. All right, here we go. Let's just see. Oh no, is that? I kept it for 6 minutes like it said. Is that water? Yeah, I'm not happy with that. I'm actually gonna plug it with foil, just because we can. We've got to have another go at it. And I'm gonna push it. It does say 5 to 7 minutes, so I went for 6. I might push it to 7. Ooh. I've got the lid on with the foil as well, so we'll see. I might actually take that out. It could be overkill. All right, here we are again. And actually I can see this time there is still a little bit of surface water. And in fact, I might pour that onto that plate. There is definitely more of a true segregation. And I think putting that foil in definitely did help steam it. So hopefully this will just pop out. Come on now, there we go. Look at that, that's amazing. That genuinely looks like a land. Yeah, we've kind of got like a semi-well done egg. It's starting to hard boil there lightly. So obviously you can just nail that, get used to the timing, but intentional egg pun, that is cracking. A little bit of fun for 10 quid. Right. Next up for £50 is the Coca-Cola hot dog steamer. Yeah, I love this retro looking thing. I found this for 50 quid. In fact, this video could have gone so many ways. And if you enjoy the concept, maybe we'll do it a few more times. Maybe we can make it more niche on certain things. This is a very nostalgic, it looks like an icebox, doesn't it? However, it is it's not just a hot dog steamer. I could do a whole video on this. It is a steamer. You've got a lid like so. You've got this basket, okay? Now in there is where you put your hot dog buns. And apparently, I'm not that hungry, but it can store 12 hot dog buns in there, okay? So I mean, it's fairly big, to be fair. It would fit in there. They'd squish together a little bit if need be. Now, at the front of this tray, I'll just stick that back on there. There's a drawer. And that is where your dogs go. But you've got the holes in there so the steam can come up through there, it can hit them first, and then the bread afterwards. Because if you had the dogs on top of the bread, I mean, that's actually quite nice, but it might actually soak some of the juices into the bread. So you see that there, it says high heat on the front, but then also warm. So after 20 minutes, if you just want to keep it a steady pace, so the hot dogs are ready. That's what that could be used for. However, I could literally go crazy with this because it's basically a steamer, one of the healthiest ways to cook. Yeah, and it's the most simplistic instructions. And for 50 quid, I was like, do you know what? This is actually a really fun bit of kit. I don't get the Coca-Cola reference whatsoever. It is mains powered, so I was thinking, oh, maybe you could take it down to a beach or something. We've had a battery powered microwave before. So I'm just gonna clean out all the bits in there and then we're gonna dog. All right, Snoop? But basically this is just gonna demonstrate the power of steam. And actually in a strange way, we kind of already did that with the egg gadget just a minute ago because that really did help lock in that heat. I've got some hot dog buns here, which seem to have got squished in the supermarket shopping bag. Hey ho. It does say you can get 12 in there. I guess you could if you went the other way. You'd have to really squish them up. I'm really excited for this. In our UK supermarket American section, they seem to be pushing these quite regularly at the moment. Dino's Franks. So there we go. And it always scares me how unhealthy these things are. But remember, you can eat them straight out of a jar. They're really addictive, aren't they? Oh, I have to be honest, they do smell really good. Actually, slightly better than the ones I normally get. So that goes in here. So we can either warm, oh, the light, look at that, or go to high, which is what we are doing. Very smelly, smoky steam. In fact, actually, should we just have a little look? Oh, come on, hopefully you can see that. Oh, wow, oh, wow. It's had 15 minutes. I'll give it another 5, and then we'll turn it down to the warm setting. And yes, there is steam in my eyeball. Already, it's calming down. So we'll leave it like this for a few minutes, and hopefully have a really nice hot dog. So let's get the lid off. Oh my word, there's like just drenched water on the buns. I'll carefully open this drawer. Oh wow. Yeah, these are soft and pillowy. They're not damp, which is great. In you go, mate. Smoky smell's gone now. Maybe I've just got used to it. That is absolutely beautiful. The bread is fluffy and warmed and steamed, but not wet and damp. And the dog is just completely warm through. We could char it if we want as well. But I love that we've just put it on that warm setting. What a great bit of kit. Seriously, I could actually just carry on just steaming loads of random things with this now. It is so much more than just a hot dog and bun warmer. I mean, it's incredible. Really fun. But like I said, it is effectively a glorified branded steamer and has so much more potential. This, for £100, is a dual toaster and grill. This sticker on the front here summarizes it really well. It is a toaster and a grill, or basically a mini oven. We've got a little baking tray in here. It's got a wire rack anyway. And under here is a crumb tray for your toast crumbs. Now the only downside is, from what I can gather, is you can't use them both at the same time. You've basically got this switch here. So at the moment it's on the grill. I really want to call it an oven, sorry. But if I switch this across, look, see how this is closed? If I switch this, it's now a toaster. And if I don't want to toast, switch it back, that closes that gap, and then we're back in here with basically 2 turn dials. A very classic standard toaster numerical dial here with a stop button too. And then down for the oven, a temperature range that starts at 100°C, but actually goes all the way up to 210, which for such a small area is actually packing quite a punch. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is just turn that on, basically to let out that new factory scent, which there will be a lot of that. The one thing I don't like as well is about this design, look, it can only go there. And I've tried hanging it off the edge of the worktop too. That sounds dangerous, but like literally so that this hangs and it's still the same. It won't open any more than that. One of the things this promotes itself for is cooking pizza. Now, obviously these are small, so I've got one of those like individual deep dish pizzas. And what I do like is the hinge here. Can you see that? It's got a bit of a lip. If I move that slightly, it wants to sort of push the tray in. Watch. Ah. This might be the closest I've ever come to like hydrating a pizza from Back to the Future. It doesn't look like a Black & Decker model just. And I remember when I've been over in America, a lot of these sort of shaped ovens are actually quite common and popular. That is a little bit disappointing that I can't toast and cook at the same time, but that could be a fire hazard. I mean, I think I'm maybe a little bit disappointed because yesterday I literally was in a place that by complete coincidence had the world's biggest toaster. And yes, I am going to see if they'll let me use it. It's worth pointing out, although this was £100, there were things in a similar price bracket that had slightly more and less features. I just thought this was quite fun. Oh, crikey, folks. I've just stepped back into the room and look, we can see the browning on that. It just looks like where it's been closer to the door, it's not getting any heat at all. So I really need to make sure that is cooking evenly. And there are some like weird like notches like on the back here, almost as if like it wants to be led over and facing another way, which I am not going to do. Open sesame. Oh, that is bubbling. Let's see what it's like. Will it slice? Oh, yes. The proof in the pizza is going to be if this is frozen still. However, just for the minute, this is the baking tray. I have just put in there 2 pieces of bacon and an egg because I'm going to make bacon eggs with my toast, which can't actually go in because the door's shut. Anyhow, let's see if we've got frozen pizza. Ooh, no, that's hot. And actually that's been 5 minutes off of the cooking time it recommended on the box, but because it cooked it so quick in such a compact area, perhaps a little bit like an air fryer. Yeah, it's worked. Okay, this has been in there quite a long time, and the thermostat, I can hear it keep clicking. I think it just did it then, on and off. It goes to a max heat and then it's like, oh, I'm too hot. And then I'm cold again. And it's just rotating back and forth, and it doesn't feel like there's a nice solid heat in there consistently. The bacon is cooked, it's just we're not gonna get charred bacon. So what I'm gonna do is flip this over. It's automatically shut off the oven. I'm gonna shove in my bread, push that down. Look, oh my gosh. What? Both the lights are on. That's amazing. So it's gonna keep cooking my bacon and the eggs and the toast. It doesn't actually clearly say that on the box that that is possible. Well, I'm so glad we've done that, because now, a little bit like the steamer, I could probably, like, there's so much you could do with this. You might remember there was a time when I had like a temporary small like plug-in oven by a company called Sage. Remember that name? Like, that genuinely helped us massively. We could cook even a chicken in there. Whereas this, like, you could actually see, like, you've got an oven and a toaster. Okay, toast, bagels, and you know, it's a tiny oven space in there, but like now that is definitely packing some heat. Look, that's like a lightsaber in there, and that's only going to be helping the bacon. Oh, yes it is. Oh my gosh. The fat from the bacon just spat up into the toast. This is new. This is not... Ooh, that toast is... Look at that. That's actually got an amazing colour on it. Oh my... What? Ah, but now the toast has popped up. Because it's in toast mode, it has actually cancelled the oven, so we need to... Oh no, I can't do that because that's going to shut the door. It actually sliced my bread for me on the door. So now, by shutting the door, the oven has come back on. What a weird machine. I mean, they are dangerous things, toasters. Let's not like beat about the bush. You can't even have them in the bath with you. But that really has cranked up the heat on that bacon. So it should be able to just get this straight off the tray, like so. It's interesting actually the numbers on a toaster. I used to think that was a timer, but apparently the numbers correlate to the actual amount of current that runs through a toaster. Not my favourite egg I've made today, but let's have a little look. Okay. Okay, well, it worked. Probably not my favourite so far, but definitely useful and something the more you use, you'd get used to in certain situations. Right. For £250, I was able to get hold of this 14 litre sous vide water bath. I've only just taken out the box and it feels like I've just smothered like buttery hands all over it. It's very easy to mark this thing. Extremely simple machine. So for 250 quid, you can get like sticks. They're around about 80, 100 quid that do the same job where you set the temperature on and sit it in a saucepan. This with the little vent there. Oh, and a very good seal. Bang, is absolutely massive. But sous vide cooking is slow and long, so I'm going to fill this with water, get it going and set it there, and we're going to cook a couple of things, including an egg. We will also do a steak. I've turned it on, and look, this is the first time. 41 degrees it's trying to go to. I'm going to take this to about 53 degrees. That must be what the temperature is. There we go. Look, it's warming up steadily. So hopefully this should start to climb up to that 50-degree temperature. And this will let me know how long that takes, because that is an awful amount of water. If that is cheaper, this is going to be my new bubble bath. So whilst that water warms up, which like I say, it is going to take a long time, but that machine is not really for being in a hurry. You can set it overnight. Overnight oats is really popular in them as well, but you do not need a 14-litre one. Really cool way of cooking though. So I'm just trimming. These are some really thin carrots as well, which will help us a little bit. And then to help it even more, because it is going to get whizzed up, spoilers. Just going to cut it into chunks, and we're also going to chop up an onion as well. That's going to go in the same bag as the carrots. I think I joked about this the other day. Oh, if only I still kept that thing that helped keep a bag open. Well, we can do this, I believe, with these. We can move these slots. Remember, this is what it sits in. So ideally, if you have got a vacuum, that'd be brilliant. But hopefully, I should be able to just drop these carrots in, or most of them. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so you can flavour this with a whole manner of things, but I'm just going to stick some butter in there for now. You know, you put other herbs in if you want. Actually, why not? First herb I could find in my cupboard is some sage, so let's just stick a bit of that in there. Now we can see there's a lot of air in this, so I'm going to push it down as flat as I can. And then close about 80% of it, and then just force more air out of it. That is fairly compact, and it should sit in there, oh, like a dream. Beautiful. It has been 40 minutes so far, and I'm actually pushing it up a little higher to about 62 degrees. That is because you can apparently poach eggs in the sous vide. Well, I hope you'll agree, this is quite the beast of a machine. This really wants to, oh, so I'm lowering that in. Literally placing the eggs in, and that lid is going back on top, fully closed. So in about 45 minutes, we should have poached eggs. Now I've checked this like 5 times. It does say to put it in the shell. So I've just reset my timer. The carrots can stay in there nice and warm. I might push that a little bit longer, and then we will also do a steak. However, the carrots kind of bring us on to the next gadget. I'll just let you know this video is not sponsored or gifted in any way. I should have said that right at the start. This is a £500 stainless steel 2400 watt blender. It's by the company Sage, who made that individual oven I talked about earlier, which was phenomenal. They also did that smoker that I've used a few times, the smoking gun. They do make some incredible appliances, and also it's got an interchangeable pot on it, which suddenly gives Glenda, you might recognize Glenda. This is my 1200 watt blender that I use way too much. It kind of makes Glenda feel a little bit like, oh right, wow. It's got like a spatula and a heck of a masher, look at that. I don't even know what material that is. It's like a really hard silicone, but it feels like, it should be like armor. It just feels really good quality. But not only that, we have got this gigantic jug that fits in there with massive blades on it. It is quite the beast. And I know there's so many things I could do with a blender. Things like rice, you could actually put rice in here and grind it up when it's being so powerful to make rice flour. Almond flours, all sort of stuff. It can really like mill. And the presets, which we've got pulsing for crushing ice, making a smoothie, a green smoothie, but then also more stubborn things like frozen desserts and soups. They're on there, but look what happens. If I take this off, see those 3 lights? They'll go, and if I stick this on, look, because this is such a beast, all 5 lights light up, and it enables you to do those other settings like a frozen dessert and soup. It's also got a timer and a cleaning mode on it, but also what I like is you can literally just turn it straight away. Can you hear? That is stir mode. See how it's stopping and starting? and you can hear the fan in it. That is that power that it wants to harness. So you've got stir, then it goes up to mix, chopping, blending, pureeing, and then milling. So if you really did want to make almond flour, you'd put it right up to the notch. Those blades will shred through it. I'm just going to whiz up some ice first, if that's all right. Yeah, I want to give a massive shout out to my patrons that make it that I don't need to do sponsored videos. Chunks of ice. If you ever want to consider being a patron though, look, I'm going to leave it like that. You get your names at the end of the video. We do some behind the scenes bits on our Discord. You get early access to the videos. You also get like ones that are like raw and like double or even 3 times the length of the normal ones. Like I'm talking right now, random scenes in between these scenes, and people seem to like it. So thank you for the support, guys. Anyhow, cubed ice. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's a pulse. That's worked, but I think it might have worked almost too well. Look, some of the ice is literally wedged under the blade. I mean, there's no problem with that, but look, it has genuinely made crushed ice. That is pretty powerful. It's like I can make my own homemade slush puppy. So, in this bowl here, I have got some frozen fruit. It smells literally like paradise. Now, I do have a pot of Greek yogurt, which I will add to it, but I'm gonna see if it can blend this up without the help of the lubrication of the yogurt. And if we go to frozen dessert, okay, that has destroyed that frozen fruit. It is like bite size. Look, I know there's a reason why we had this massively long spoon. It's like powder. Oh, that's delicious. I used to love watching their videos, Will It Blend, on YouTube. There was a company called Blendtec. I think they sold fairly recently in the last few years to another company. And I was just trying to look what the wattage was on the videos that they did. They were blending up like brooms and PlayStations and stuff. They were commercial ones, and like the ones that I found are 1800 watts. So this one's 2400, remember, as I add my yogurt in, which will definitely like soothe it. But that was like a boss. Bear in mind, those videos were over 10 years ago at least. I'm not saying I'm going to shove a broom in here, and maybe it was a commercial one if any of you guys want to find out for me, but that's pretty cool. Wow, that is literally pureed. Incredible. We're still going to make the soup, and bizarrely that has taken the 45 minutes, so our eggs should be ready. This is some warm water. A litre of that with some washing up liquid. Try the clean mode. Look, even the lid is clean. That is amazing. I'm really, really impressed with that, but unfortunately I do need it again, so I'll give it a clean. Let's look at our sous vide eggs. Oh, right. Now the cool thing I can smell butter. Now the cool thing is we could actually leave those eggs in there for 45 minutes apparently, or as long as we want, like 4 hours if you want, and it will still keep it as a cooked egg based on that temperature staying consistent. So let's see if this has worked. I'm very skeptical. That's just a general statement. I'm very skeptical. So I have read this, I've triple read it, I keep reading it over and over, and it insisted that you can do this straight from the shell, so. Oh, that looks promising actually. Oh my word. That's actually done it. It's blooming weird in colour because the yolk and the white have kind of like merged how they've wanted. This is blooming bizarre, look at that. Absolutely. I generally did not think that was going to work. I mean, it's no Eggland, is it? But definitely this should be like yolky. Oh, look. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is outstanding. Okay. I feel like my channel really should be called Barry Lewis's Kitchen Adventures or something, because we're just learning all the time. Like, especially when I don't realise I am. Wow. What a time to be alive. So we'll let the sous vide machine just keep cooking the carrots a little bit longer. However, I've got no doubts in my mind that blender would rip through them whether they were raw or not. For the carrot soup that's going to get blended up as well, we're going to use a stock, and it's worth noting that in a sous vide machine, you can also make a stock as well, apparently. Like literally the whole bath full of that. I'll just make stock the classic way, complete with our little mesh ball in there. Just going to boil the kettle, get a cube going. All right then, these carrots. Oh wow, the butter has like passed through there all the way. I was thinking, oh, do I need to massage the bag? But I can see it all scattered around there. Smell that. Smell that. Smell it. Hey, go on, have a smell. If you're smelling your TV right now, you're amazing. If you're not, I completely understand why. The carrot is tender. I mean, it helps that they're so thin. I think if it was fatter ones, it probably need another half an hour. Oh. And the onion just melts in the mouth. The butter is definitely giving it some extra flavour there for sure. Because that's the only thing with sous vide cooking. I think it generally can be quite bland, as we'll see with the steak. We can enhance it. But let's get that in there with the butter and all. In goes our stock, which is still warm. We want it warm, okay? I've got about a tablespoon of butter here. Some coriander, pepper, garlic granules, just a shimmy of that. And last but no means least, cumin. And it's worth noting, just before we do that soup, this is a ribeye steak, and I'm just seasoning it with some pepper, salt, steak seasoning. You can do any other seasonings and rubs you want. Just pat all that in. I've already done the other side, because we're going to sous vide steak. It's quite cliche, like air frying chips. And depending on the temperature you do your sous vide machine, is whether it's rare, medium, or whatever. So I'm lowering the heat to 55°C at the moment, which should hopefully give us a medium steak. In it goes. Soup mode. That's pretty darn cool. And remember, that soup mode is designed for carrots that aren't actually fully cooked to the texture that sous vide is, and it would have shredded them amazingly. Wow. Oh, it's not too thin, but not too thick. Nice sort of combo, actually. There we go. A sous vide soup blended up in a very expensive blender. That is delicious. I think the cumin, out of all of it, is quite potent in that. The carrot and the onion has been shredded so fine, you can taste it, but you wouldn't know it's there. It's that smooth. I've eaten some interesting things today, and you probably think, oh, Barry, you probably enjoyed the hot dog the most, but the British person makes you enjoy the carrot soup. I don't know if it's wrong, though, that my favourite setting, though, out of everything, out of all the cool stuff that this thing does, bit of washing up liquid. It's that cleaning mode. I love it. So last up, this is the £1,000 espresso machine. This thing is absolutely insane. So I actually turned this on last night because it needed a software update. It's a coffee machine. Imagine that, you just want to make coffee and you're just like, I'm gonna boil the kettle, but it needs a software update. It just blew my mind. Now, I am not a coffee snob. I didn't used to drink it till I met Mrs. B. We just generally have instant in the house. But I appreciate good coffee. This machine, it's just, I'm not even gonna showcase even 10% of what it can do. Basically, the coffee beans go in here, and of course you could order raw ones online and roast them yourself, but it's got the grinder down there, and you can change how coarse the beans get, if they get ground really fine or perhaps slightly less milled. There is a water tank on the side, which actually, it's like a briefcase. We can just carry this around. I'll fill this now because it's gonna tell me to. So if I just slot that on there, see now it's having a little rinse. Now you might not be able to see it here to the right. There's a Wi-Fi logo, and then also like looks like a plate with some steam coming off of it. That is a mug warmer setting. So I can literally put my mug on here. This is it right there. Yep. And that will warm my mug. I'd pay £1,000 for that. But that's just one of like hundreds of settings where you can turn that on and off. Also remotely, there is an app which we'll test in a sec. You can also change the strength of the coffee. You can do 2 cups if you want, because it's got the 2 nozzles. This bit here is a container for putting milk in, because it can foam it and it uses the milk straight from here. However, you don't have to use it. Say you've got like a milk carton or a bottle, hang on. You could literally take the lid off that and stick that straight in there, and it would take the milk directly from the bottle. You don't need this, although you can just fill it with milk and keep it in the fridge. And in the time it's taken me to do that, this mug is warm. I mean, like, we can put milk in it, we've like filled it with water, it's told us to, and we've warmed a mug. That is amazing. The only thing I think, I'm very tempted to just literally stick my hand on that. It looks so innocent. There's like a thing called Coffee World where like you can actually download new recipes that sort of come and go. They've got like cold brew on there. You've got classics, so like a coffee pot, warm milk, foamed milk. We could just foam the milk if we want. Should we foam some milk? Oh my word, look at that! Your foamed milk is ready. Oh, this is a lot of fun. Oh. All right, so we've got our warm mug. Shall we go for a latte? Look, we can change the strength of the milk ratio there, and also it says strong. We can customize that if we want, but let's just go for that. I could start to really like coffee after this. I've just got a fresh pack of coffee beans here. I don't know how much to add. I feel like this is some sort of like water slide. Well, hopefully the machine is smart enough to know that there's now some I said Cocoa Pops, coffee beans there. Start. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh my word. There's our milk. Oh, you can pick if you want the milk to come out first or the coffee. That's quite cool, isn't it? Your cafe latte is ready. Oh my word. Oh, it smells insane. I feel like this is the sort of thing that you get at a really posh hotel foyer. Oh, that is amazing. Wow. So what else have we got here? We've got a latte macchiato. I think he was in Karate Kid. Cappuccino. Just a black coffee. Cafe creamer, very nice. Or you could hold proper espresso. I don't really want an espresso. Now, let's have a cappuccino. This is turning into like the perfect day. All the while that I'm mucking around with this coffee machine, I'm sous videing a steak. Come on. I had a pepperoni pizza like 6 hours ago. Oh my gosh, every time. Wow, that's fantastic. I mean, it all looks the same. And this is what I mean. Like this bit is very cool. Very, very, look at that. The banding on that. Folks, just to show you, I set up the app and it sent me notifications. Refill coffee beans, insert the water tank. So with that in mind, I wanted to show you this because it is absolutely crazy. Coffee maker on, it connects to it, and I can literally pick. Like if I go to Cafe Grand now, look how much quickly it changes. Boom. Do you see that? I'll see if I can do it so you can see it in shot. So let's go for, I don't know, hot water. I'm going to literally click it. Boom. That is how fast that changed. I really hope you saw that. So with that in mind, we're going to go for, I don't know, a cafe creamer. I can see it's moving in the background. Strong. Yeah, we'll have it strong. Balanced. No, we'll have it mild. A mild one. And then we'll have 140 ml. Done. Absolutely bonkers. And this isn't like me discovering a coffee machine. The functionality you've got, it had a firmware update with about 10 new recipes on there. And I know that there's some like in the middle of Lidl and all that, but this is pretty cool. My word. So with that in mind, I want to do like one last thing. This is cold brew because I've not really looked into this, whether you've got to add ice. I imagine you do. So cold brew, start, strong, medium. It's not told me to put any ice in. I really want it to do that. I want it to be like proper, like basic. All right, it's just finished and it says your cold brew is ready and there ain't nothing cold about that. So, don't need a blender to crush this up. All goes down the same way, right? Oh my word. That is blooming stonking coffee. Wow. I feel really awake. So to be fair to it, let's get the same glass, put some ice in. Just because I can, I'm gonna do it on my phone. Oh, stop, 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 stop. Yes. Oh, that looks fantastic. I think I've convinced myself. Oh, that is, oh my word. I'm not sleeping tonight. And what a nice way to conclude this segment. It's telling me to now empty the drip tray because I've made a mess everywhere. So obviously the bit under here, which does come out quite nicely. Oh, look at that. Look at our coffee grounds in there. So not only does it know we need to clear this out fairly soon. Oh, that's really good for plants, by the way. In here is full of the fluid. Amazing. Right, oh, steak. We'll get this out of the bag and we're going to sear it in a hot pan just to give it, and that's what the sous vide doesn't do. It's not going to get that sort of nice edge on the outside. So we'll do that quickly. Ooh. Oh, beautiful. That smells absolutely insane. I think I'm on a coffee high at the moment. Look at that colour. Absolutely perfect. It has been a good day. Phenomenal. The charring on the edge is so worth it, but the texture running through it and the benefit of the sous vide is that melt in the mouth consistency, and we could have left that for hours. So if you're like doing some crazy meal, I think that's kind of the benefit of sous vide. It gives you that flexibility. Wow. I hope you've enjoyed the video, folks. Don't forget, I've done loads of Gadget videos over the years. There's a massive playlist, so do check it out if you wish. If you like this concept, I'm happy to do it more. Of course, there are so many different ways we could go with this. It didn't have to be the appliances we've seen today. I was going to go to 10,000. I found this crazy machine from China, but it was going to take 2 months to get here, but it was like bonkers. That could pretty much be a standalone video anyway, but I feel like in some ways we have justified the price of some things, or at least justified the steps. I mean, the hot dog steamer was amazing. The sous vide machine with that steak, out of this world, and those eggs. We've only scratched the surface of, I mean, obviously the blender can do so many things like a blender can, but what that coffee machine can do. And even down to our first one, that £1 bit of metal, absolutely amazing. I found this video fascinating. I hope you did too. Cheers for watching. Cheers for all the support, especially to the patrons as well that keep the channel going. Love you guys. Hello, hope you're good. Today we're testing another batch of kitchen gadgets. We've done hundreds over the years, and we're going to start off today with this onion pod. I really do wish I got a red onion now. I got a white onion because I think it might weep a little bit more and show the progress during this video whilst we work on the other gadgets. So let's slice an onion. So we've got 2 onion halves like that. They look like onions, don't they? That's because they are. Right, this is the official onion plate, okay? We're going to put this in the background of the video and see if it discolors in any way. Whereas the other one will go... Do you know what this looks like? It looks like a little cloche for an onion, doesn't it? It's like, oh, hey! that was a lot funnier in my head, sorry. So it's going to stop it kind of being exposed to anything. Basically a glorified Tupperware tub, isn't it? In the shape of an onion half. Right, so we're off and running. They can sit round there in the background. Of course, before commenting down below on any of these gadgets, just remember some of these can help people with certain disadvantages in the kitchen. Some are novelty, and some, as we found over the years, are pretty terrible. Actually, I do need some more onion for our main sort of hub today, our main gadget, okay? So just a little bit of diced onion. Well, and hopefully, like some of you, our version normally of that onion pod is literally just doing that and bunging it in the fridge. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's the same purpose. You're airtight. Now this is something called a Flexi Zesty, but it's by Microplane, and it says that's the actual company. It says Microplane there, as in, it says, like, that's what I thought the term was for like these sorts of small graters, and it says Microplane, the original. So is it a little bit like Hoover, how a Hoover is a brand, whereas the right term is vacuum, right? But anyhow, this is like a handheld zestery thing. It's really light, and you'd think that it would all sort of collect perhaps in this huge bucket underneath, but you pop that there, and what you've actually got is kind of like a little recess there, like a little bathtub. Quite a shallow bathtub actually in some ways. It's quite disappointing, but then again, you don't always need that much lemon and lime zest. And actually with that surface there, it's kind of like, well, where's it going to go? You'd think it would just kind of like stick on there rather than under there. So this is perfect for lemon and lime, which we'll shove with our onion now. I'll wash it first. So let's just see. Oh, crikey, that's really sharp. I can feel it, and it's only a little bit on the surface. Look at that. That smells amazing. I really want a mojito now. Yeah, I tell you what, that is really doing well. That might be one of the best graters, or Microplane, being official, I've ever used. That's just great. I know some of you are probably like, Barry, why are you getting excited about that? If you are, you're new here, okay? And we've got another gadget for the lemon in a minute, but we will just try the lemon too. I am actually pleasantly surprised that the zest is not going anywhere, and it is tucking neatly into that bathtub below. Just imagine a citrus bathtub. I'm not saying you bath in lemon juice, because if you've got a cup. Ooh. Let's have a look. Ugh, wow. Oh, wow, that's amazing. I feel like I've just made a field. Oh, that smells brilliant. Right, we'll just get you down there because it's all going to get mingled together. Oh, that feels really nice. There's not like any moisture at all. It's almost like a grass. There we are, like lemon and lime grass. Not my favourite snack of choice. That is genuinely really, really good. But what if you want more than the zest from your lemon, lime or other citrus thing? I feel like I've omitted the orange and potentially the grip. No, not the grip. The grip. The grapefruit. This by Phantom Chef. Found this in a bargain bin for $2.99. It is a lemon squeezer, but also with a little thing on it to help ream. Which out of context sounds a little bit cheeky, but hey-ho. Oh, there you go. Wow, that looks really cheap looking. I'm definitely going to wash this, but even like the, I'm going to say nipple, okay? Just a warning, I'm going to say nipple. I said it twice already. Like the nipple of the reamer, I know that's not the official term, but the pointy end, okay? Look, it looks like worn, a little disappointing. So hopefully we can juice it, okay? Oh, it's quite flimsy. That feels like it wants to snap. Right, so I've juiced it, but then now, oh, crikey, that's tough. I thought this might help some people. Ah, no, if I loosen it, it does turn a lot better. Oh, crikey. Ah, right. Well, see what's happened is now gravity has made it sit on there. What if I push it down firmer? Will that... Ah, no. Like, if I just... I want to try and get that back. There we go. There's sort of like a sweet spot between... There we go. There. You don't want to push it too hard because it's kind of like, I can't move. But then obviously if you don't put it on there, it's just like going, ooh. So just a gentle caress. That is pretty well hollowed out too. And the seeds have kind of stayed in there. I don't know if there's some sort of, oh, there's a few in there, which is exactly the point of these things. I actually got quite a lot out. And you know what? I did only need the juice of half a lemon, but we'll go again. This is the slightly smaller half. This is the only thing, for some reason, I don't like that you've got to sort of, because there was no instructions with this. Literally, I'm a lemon squeezer, work it out yourself. Oh God, it's that first. Okay, so lemon and lime and onions going into the lemon juice. And now for something completely different. I was in a supermarket getting my ingredients for the video today and I saw these carrots and they just reminded me literally of stereotypical carrots from a cartoon, and I had to buy them, and I remembered I had this probably quite unnecessary gadget which you could just use a pot for. In fact, it probably is a pot. This is a snack on the go carrot and hummus holder. So literally we're gonna see if it works. I bought carrots after all. Got some store-bought hummus, but honestly making your own. I once met, I did this thing for YouTube in Berlin, the hummus making world champion at the time, and he let me taste some of it and it was the most smoothest thing ever. It was gorgeous. But I don't think this should be limited to just like carrots and hummus, should it? But you could put like fruit with like chocolate there or something, or cream and strawberries if you want like a little bit of a Wimbledon vibe. They're doing themselves a bit of a disservice there, unless they're very savvy and they've got one for each, every single food combo. Oh no, you can't put fruit and chocolate in that. No, you need the brown one. So actually you need to make, that's one downside. You always kind of got to be like, right, okay, let's go halfway. You want to make sure that the carrot will fit in. Now, will the lid go on? Beautiful. So let's just do some role play pretending that I had a real job, you know, like everyone else. Oh, I'm on my coffee break. Ah, thank goodness I've got my carrot and hummus on the go pot thing. I've had far too much carrot. I'm not a rabbit. Let's put that back in there too. Yeah, and then you can just like bung that in the fridge. That is actually, I don't think my priority would be to use it for carrots and hummus, but that worked. Actually, just before we move on, could you let me know down below, like this is what happens when I film. I kind of get like brain fog with stuff like this. Like what, I mean, I just came up with chocolate, but what would you put like in that pot? I mean, I'm not saying I'm gonna, next time I see Stuart, we'll say, yeah mate, we'll do a video, we'll do a will it carrot hummus pot. He'll be like, what? Actually, another thing I'd be really interested with is, do you reckon you could do like, you know, you do like nettle soup? Do you reckon you could do like infuse a carrot soup, or just make a soup? I mean, you definitely can, whether it would taste any good, but maybe it's a thing. You could do a carrot soup infused with carrot bush. Okay, next up is something that I've lost the packaging to. I'm completely sorry, I'm not sure. I think it was about £4, and it's this thing. This is by somebody called Zeal. It's got a garlic bulb on it, so I think it's fairly self-explanatory. Oh, the bottom comes off too. What the heck? This is like what those dolls. You open the dolls and more appears. Oh, that's a peeler for the garlic, which I've already done off camera. Okay. Well, I've got another one. Hang on, let's just see. These normally work either terribly or really well. Yeah, that's okay. You get different ones that have got like a little bit of friction in, so it grips it. This is just sort of like having like the time of its life. But anyhow, I peeled my garlic already. We've got this blade. So the top, there we go. Little push down thing and a square blade. So we should be able to take this out in theory. There we go. Oh, hang on. Is that a... Oh, look at this little grid. That should clean... Ah, that's clever. So that stays on there to help clear out any sort of gunk. And there's normally some. All right, so let's go for some slices first. This is quite dainty, isn't it? Stick this down. Oh, wow, that was tough. Oh my gosh. It's fallen out. To be fair, slicing it into thin strips like that, it's not going to be as easy as the grid one, which we'll do now, but you know, that's actually got some really nice slithers on there. I don't need them slithered, which is why I did that one first. Slithered, what a word. Now this is quite a big clove, so we'll see. It might not want to do this. No, I'm gonna, I think I might break it. So let's help it. There we go. It's like a small version of a veggie prep kit. Now actually, does this, yes, this is amazing. The whole tray comes out like that, like a little compartment. Okay, it wouldn't be very good on an onion, it would take blooming ages, but for garlic like that, that's actually quite a little fun thing. Like this bit was shocking, but more and more things appeared, and look, you know, there's not too messy actually, but we should be able to just lift that off, look. That's brilliant. So I guess one good thing is we can shove the majority of that garlic in, and randomly, I've never done this concoction before, but the acidity in the lemon is probably stopping the onion from, well, discoloring or even sort of, well, kind of doing what we're hoping this thing to do. I mean, it's much better with an avocado, and maybe that would have been better to show you that. I have one literally for an avocado I could have shown you. Another day. Alright then guys, so I've got a blob of butter here. I'm just going to help melt it a slight bit with a little bit of fresh chicken stock that I've just boiled up. And we're going to put some of our lemon lime onion mix in there. I don't really know what I'm doing here, to be honest, but we'll just go with it, all right? Yeah, that'll do. And I'm just going to stick in a few like fresh thyme leaves as well. Back to our main bowl. I'm going to pour in some red wine and the chicken stock. Yeah, not really a flavour thing, more a volume thing of where this is actually ultimately going to end up. So I've got some more herbs here, different rosemary and, well, some more thyme again, to be fair as well. Just for the minute, imagine that we've made this sort of stock thing, okay? This is our bodge stock, but you want to pour it away into a Ziploc bag to store it for another day. We've all been there, right? These varying sizes Ziploc bags that you sort of zip up and seal. Baby, have a kiss from a rose on it. This is the bag opener and holder. What an original name. Holds plastic bags upright and open in order to easily pour in casseroles, soups, marinades, and leftovers. So obviously it folds flat for easy storage. We can kind of see that, it's pretty good. Adjustable arms hold various bag heights and sizes, and the suction base keeps the holder in place. So we've got our weird wine stock marinade thing that we've made there. I've got 3 various bag sizes that I've ordered to see if this does the different heights with Mrs. B's over the moon about. Let's try it. Stick it down. Now we lift the arms up. Hello. Now, how high do these go? Ooh. Ooh. This was the bag that I just showed you. It's classed as small in the supermarket. So hopefully tuck it under there. So there's some little grooves that it bites to. Oh my word, that's amazing. We've all been there, haven't we? Trying to like get stuff into these sorts of bags. That's actually really good. If you wanted to, could you raise it up? Yes. I don't have anything to put in this. Let's put a carrot pot in it. Oh, there we go. Oh. But as good as that was, I've got 3 different size bags, okay? So that was small. I want to go for the polar extreme now. I've never seen them like this size. Well, this is an extra large bag. And I don't know. Yeah, that's not going to work. I mean, it's still going to hold it. which I guess is still half the thing. Once you pour it in, it will just fill itself out, but it would sort of work, but we very rarely get bags that big. So then, I'm just doing it in a jug so it's easier. You know what, it's sort of giving me like a router vibe. It's definitely, if you have a router that looks like this, you're missing some wiring. But this is a medium-sized bag, which is what we typically tend to get. Oh, this is very trusting. Oh, clip it together, and that is actually really, really helpful for a lot of people. I mean, you want to get a better suction pad on there. Hey, you could even semi-permanently fix it down to something if you're going to use it often. It's not the prettiest looking thing by any means. I can't believe I've had that here in the house for nearly 3 years. And with this generally times where we struggle with this, that is exceptionally useful. I hope you agree with me. I've actually got to get this out now anyway. So as I've just slathered a chicken in some of the butter mix where we divided that up, I've preheated my oven and my onion delicately weeps in the background. Where are we all going? Where is this heading? That's an open question. Well, there's this thing that I found in the bargain bin of TK Maxx, which I think is called TJ Maxx in some countries. This is by Landman, which I think is quite a well-known barbecue company. It's basically a glorified beer can chicken holder thing. It's basically called a chicken holder. However, unlike a beer can, which of course, thinking about it, you could just pour the beer out and add in any marinade or stock you want. This is a metal chicken holder, which could go on a barbecue also. And it's all sort of encased together. That does not come apart. Can't unscrew that to clean it or anything. We'll give it a good old wash just like before, but basically this can get filled with the fluid which will steam the chicken and push all that flavour through that we've created. And we've definitely created something. I think I can take it nearly to the top. There we go. It should sit on then. Oh, there we go. That's sat on there really nice. That's got slathered already with that butter mix we made separately. Chick in. 1 hour 45 apparently that should turn out gorgeous. But in all seriousness, actually I was on the Gadget show in the UK and I did in a big green egg beer can chicken years ago, and it sort of does steam the chicken. We've done it a few times before. Barbecue amazing, but also in an oven. It really does make the chicken really moist and you get all those flavours that we put in there working their way up through. And obviously it did have that little plate underneath. That will probably collect some juices too. Pretty cool. It has been 2 hours. Oh boy. Oh. And all of these juices are sizzling like crazy. So that's going to be a combination of our stock that's sort of bubbled over and steamed and pushed all that flavour through that tender chicken. I'm so glad we put it on a big tray like that with a lip to catch those extra juices. And the great thing with it being on a stand like this, I've not really got to move it, but we can let it rest literally in that position. You know, you don't want any flies around it, which actually brings us on to one last gadget whilst it does rest. Yep, because last up is something that's sort of a kitchen gadget and more of an outdoor food gadget to prevent flies getting at your food. Now, I have no idea how I can actually test this. This is called the Flyaway, the safe and environmentally friendly device for fly-free entertaining. Which again, as I add on my own, fly-free entertaining, I've got a whole chicken to myself, life is good. It's got soft, flexible blades that rotate quietly and are completely safe to touch. Reach over for food and the blades will stop. All right. An on and off switch is located at the bottom of the device along with a battery compartment which requires 2 AA batteries. That is pretty much it. As I'm fighting this label, I had a little idea of what we could do, and it actually involves our onion. That's been sat there the whole video. It's been a long old day. And there it is. Look at this thing. Oh wow. Is that sensors on it? It looks like glitter. It's not, is it? Very, very light. No instructions, standard. These blades are the least unbladey thing I've ever seen. So let's just turn it on. Okay, we'll bring in our onion and we'll pretend that's there. So apparently, like how quiet it is. It's pretty good, isn't it? Jeez. Reach over for food and the blades will stop. No, it won't. No, it won't. Where do I reach over there? Is there another switch? No, it's literally on or off. Brilliant. Okay. Oh, it's cooling me down a little bit. Reach over for food and the blades will stop. Reach over. reach over. Oh, I think, is it literally the fact that you will physically stop it like that? Is that it? Surely not. Then what's the point of these things? Is that just literally glitter? It's decoration. I think that's just something shiny to scare, like, as I said, rats, flies away. Like the sort of metallic look, the glittery reflection. Oh no! You know, like people that hang up CDs to scare off birds. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't hurt at all. But I was really hoping that it'd be like, oh, excuse me, and it will stop. But then it doesn't hurt at all. Well, whilst we've got this here, we have got the pod. Yeah, this looks a little bit different because, like usual, I sign these and give them away to one of my patrons that helps support with the running costs of the channel. So thanks very much for that. But if we take this one out, that's getting really annoying. It's like something constantly like, it's a little bit of moisture in the bottom, but that colour is pretty good. Bearing in mind, this has been out for like 7 hours. I don't know if you can see it there, but there is a little discoloration. Can you see it's sort of gone a bit browner? That's just where it stood out. And if I left it for like another day, it would be even worse. However, this has given me an idea. We're gonna go outside for about 5 minutes and just see if any flies get attracted to this. I'll let the camera roll and see if, well, we'll bring this in and swat them away. I don't know if flies like onions. Oh, maybe I'll put a blob of jam on it. Or anything with sugar. This is sweet chili sauce, so we'll just put a little bit of that. Right, let's just go outside. I mean, I don't really want to make a thing of this. Well, we kind of had now. And no, I'm not eating that. All right, it's quite windy out here. I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to hear me. I'm just going to put that down there. And we'll just see if any flies come along. Should we try another spot? It's been sat over there for like 10 minutes. Do you know that's that weird thing that like when you actually want a fly to appear, like Boston's keeping his eye on it for me, but there's just no flies appearing at all. So I'm gonna get Boston to play the role of a fly, okay? And you really want some sweet chili onion, don't you? Yes, you do. Oh no, how am I gonna protect myself from this gigantic fly? This, of course. Look, Boston, you really want the sweet chili, but you're interested, see? Yes. Oh no, you can duck. Right, let's put you there. You can duck under it. No, damn, you still want it. Right, there you go. See, that, yes. Those soft blades will not hurt you. See? You know what? There's nothing on that at all. No, I'm not eating that. I think that actually would work in the right setting. Perhaps a setting that had flies. All right, so I've washed my hands and we're kind of like fly free now. This would be it now. There'll be a fly that generally comes in. Gotta remember that's still gonna be really full with the fluid, isn't it? That's where the oven gloves will help. Okay. Oh, it's still really warm. And with this being metal, look, hardly any of that has evaporated. That smells absolutely amazing. And there's even a slight red tinge from some of it that might have bubbled over a little bit with the chicken juices. And if I just tip that, you can see how many juices there are in that pan. So, well, let's get that chicken down. Oh my goodness. That feels so tender. And the smell coming off of it, very, very citrusy, I'll give it that. But this is a roast chicken made pretty much entirely with kitchen gadgets. I love it with these gadget compilations where I can actually make an entire recipe with that, and I might try and do a few more of those with everything I've got left. That is like melt in the mouth chicken. And I like the thing that, you want to do beer can chicken, you could have just poured a can of beer in there, or of course, just put a beer can there instead, or indeed a Fanta one. We've done that before on the channel. Really, really fun. So it works. There's so many different ways you can take that. A really fun video. But like I say, I've signed all those. They will be given away. I think my favorite one today, I've been thinking about it. I'm like, I really, really liked the microplane. But then I think this is absolutely phenomenal. If there's something better out there, if you guys have seen anything, do let me know, send me links, and I'll top up my gadget box. But I think this is really practical, really useful for so many different scenarios. I've definitely been in situations where I've spilt things trying to get them into those Ziploc bags. Perhaps the lemon squeezer reamer thing was probably the worst. Actually, the build quality didn't feel great and it didn't perform amazingly, but it still did the job. Check out the rest of the kitchen gadget videos here on the channel that goes on for absolute hours. Grab the popcorn, keep the suggestions coming, and I'll see you very soon. Ciao for now.